Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Paul Andrews, and it will be my privilege and pleasure to be your Master of Ceremonies for the 2016 Wayne State University Athletic Hall of Fame ceremony. I welcome each of you to the 41st Annual Athletic Hall of Fame celebration. Today's event is a wonderful opportunity to showcase the very best of Wayne State athletics, and it gives us great pleasure to have all of you here in this delightful occasion with us. You should know that the Department of Athletics is moving toward the 100th anniversary. The information at your seat will direct you to the department website, where you can review significant moments in Wayne State athletic history and share your own memories. We encourage you to engage in the process as we move toward celebrating our centennial.
Well, thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. It's always great to be here. Now, unfortunately, Jacqueline and I will have to leave early. We've got a flight to Los Angeles in a couple of hours. So there's something called the Capital Campaign you might have heard about that we're in the middle of. So got to go out and raise some money. But it's really great to be here for a little while, and we'll probably be able to stay through lunch. So, and then Gary Paula should be here, and we'll be, he's the chair of the board, so he'll take over my duties. We're here to celebrate our newest inductees to the Athletics Hall of Fame, and just want to let you know you make us all very, very proud. Through your many athletic accomplishments and your academic excellence, you embody the university's official motto, aim higher. Where there were expectations, you exceeded them. Where there were records, you broke them. You showed the people around you and us here today that anything is possible if you apply yourself wholly and passionately. The lessons you learned in the classrooms undoubtedly helped your career, but the lessons from competition, how to strive for excellence and support your teammates, how to win magnanimously and lose graciously, how to give everything you've got when everything is on the line. Those lessons will serve you a lifetime. All of these 6 inductees are in their first year of eligibility for the Hall of Fame since they completed their college career in the spring of 2010. You could say that we've just been waiting for them for this moment. In the 2016 Hall of Fame class, we have professional players. We have a professional coach. Some of you are currently pursuing advanced degrees or have already obtained one. In short, we have nothing but the best, and I am so impressed by all of you. You are in good company in Wayne State's Athletic Hall of Fame. Today, you are joining a very distinguished and growing class of Wayne State players and coaches whose accomplishments are so exceptional, we want them to be remembered for many years to come. The Hall of Fame, Class of 2016 inductees, will bring the membership total to more than 230. Members include Olympians, conference, regional, and national champions, former professional athletes, coaches, administrators, and individuals who have demonstrated a major personal interest in Wayne State's athletic programs. Each of you excelled, not only on the field, but in the classroom, in the community as well. You led by example, and our current student athletes are working hard to follow in your footsteps. In the fall semester, they averaged a cumulative GPA of 3.15. That includes 21 student athletes with a perfect 4.0 term GPA. I tell my cabinet all the time that we should recruit all student athletes for the student body at Wayne State with those kind of statistics. And they set a school record last year with more than 10,000 community service hours. To the new inductees, you've been out of school for at least a few years, and you've had a chance to test the value of your Wayne degree. Now, judging from the feedback we get from employers, They tell us that Wayne State graduates are better prepared for the world than many of their peers from other unnamed schools. But I would say this is doubly true of our student athletes, because the same discipline and commitment you applied in your athletic endeavors will put you on a path to success in all walks of life. We hope that you'll share your Wayne State stories with your friends, families, and colleagues. You are the university's best ambassadors. When others look at your success, they see very plainly the value of a Wayne State experience. So thank you all for giving Wayne State your very, very best efforts. You are truly an inspiration. Thank you very, very much.
Hello, my name is Gary Pollard, and I understand President Wilson was here with us earlier, so I missed him. I understand he's taking a flight out to California to raise some money. As chair of the board, I will say amen. I want you to know, since the president is here and I can't embarrass him, I feel that education and athletics go hand in hand like hand in glove. So we're here today to celebrate our athletic program and certain athletes. But I want you to know, from an old track guy and football guy, I never made it this far. And the athletes didn't make it themselves. They're here today because they had support from family, faculty, staff, and community folks, parents and grandparents. So I want to let you know that it is my honor today to come before you and speak for a minute. I understand we have 6 former student athletes and their families who are with us, and I say thank you and congratulations to all of you who support them. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. To all of you, thank you for choosing Wayne State for your educational and athletic endeavors. While the origins of your recognition today are based upon the success on the field, in the pool, on the court, your academic pursuits are also applauded and laudable.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate you coming in here. And certainly, Governor Pollard's a big supporter of the athletic department. Many times he'll just show up in the athletic department on a weekend. You'll be in there and you'll knock on the door, and he'll have a friend or somebody that he wants to show around, and certainly appreciate his support. I know his wife, Pearl Ann, is usually around at all the games, and she'll come up to me, and this was back when they were doing the search for the president, and she said, "Rob, we found the perfect guy for you." I wanted to remind her that I was already married, but I said, "Oh, the perfect guy." She goes, "This president is great." She says, he was a student athlete, and certainly the president's support and what Governor Pollard has done has certainly elevated the athletic department. I see all the bright lights, and I just wonder where all the people are going sometimes. I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds of cars with people, all seemingly going in some direction for some purpose, always going to some other different place. You know, at Wayne State, we're kind of at the crossroads of all these freeways, and literally thousands and thousands of people pass by our campus every day. But some stop by. And those that stop by, their life is changed forever. You can look at just the class of 2016, but also the people that are assembled in this group. Their life has been changed by Wayne State. You know, when I was looking at the class of 2016, there were some unique traits about it that stuck out. First of all, the geography of them. 3 of them come from different continents. There's 5 different countries represented. They've all literally traveled thousands and thousands of miles to be here. And none of them are from the city, but all of them are part of Detroit. There's some other characteristics beyond the nuance of geography, and they relate around the number 5. 2 of them wore the number 5. One won 5 individual national titles. 2 of them won 5 conference titles their senior year. And one is only one of 5 student athletes in the long history of fencing to be a multiple national champion in an individual weapon. You know, the other interesting thing is this is the only class in the 41 that we've ever inducted that all played in the same period of time. And you can see the impact on the athletic department by the fact that of the 5 best seasons ever in the history of that NACDA Cup that Paul just talked about, 4 of them came in the years that they played. Do you know there's people that study numbers? I'm not talking about CFOs and accountants. There's actually people that study numbers and tell you characteristics of them. And the number 5 is kind of significant. It stands for dynamic action. It stands for movement. It's an equal blend of female and male characteristics. The number 4, by contrast, is static and inflexible. I've met some 4s. I like the 5s better. I'm going to illustrate to you today how this group of 6 represented that number 5, how they added a dynamic appeal to the department. It not only changed athletics, but it changed their life too. In a few years, the university is going to celebrate 150 years, and the athletic department is going to turn 100. In that period of time, there has been a number of student athletes who have found Wayne State as a destination point and a starting point. And along that way, they have been impacted by their experiences here, not just academically, but what they've learned athletically. You know, the road for this Hall of Fame class has been somewhat torturous, but they found home here at Wayne State. Back in 1804, Judge Woodward laid out the city of Detroit, how the streets would work. He modeled his idea after Washington, a hub or a center with the streets like spokes coming out from it. In fact, if you go down to Campus Marshes today, to the Woodward Fountain, you'll see a little description embedded in the rock marking that spot. And you'll never guess how many roads he designed leading out of the city. 5. Gratiot, Jefferson, Grand River, Michigan, and Woodward. 5. 5 leading out, which took great ideas and accomplishments and things that Detroit brought to the world, but also coming back that brought those same opportunities for people that were looking for them. You know, the Hall of Fame class has a lot of highway still in front of them, but they're going to benefit by the fact that they got their start at Wayne State. And also, now they're always welcome back because, well, this too is home. The only difference is this home is a little bit more enlarged today. Today it includes them in the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Coach Peters knew that when Cauli Bedran joined the program, he had somebody special right away. In one of the early meets of the year, he broke a 26-year-old record in the 50 freestyle. That record had been held for years by Gary Bice. I think Gary is here today. Gary, where are you sitting at? Stand up, Gary. They should. I think Gary wanted to make sure if somebody beat his record, they sure the hell better get into the Hall of Fame. As a freshman, Cauli was a 5-time All-American. He set 3 first-team records in anchoring relays, and he set 2 school records. But the story of Cauli Bedran is more than just statistics. And I got an illustration of his commitment and that dynamic action. We have a rivalry in swimming with another institution that's on the other side of the state. Who's the best? By the way, this last weekend, our women's swimming team won the 8th consecutive championship in swimming and diving, and they're 12th in the last 13 years, so I wonder who's on top. And every year since 2000, the men have either been first or second. But I don't mind people talking. Well, back in 2010, when we hosted the swimming and diving championship at Wayne State, in the very first day, one of our best sprinters broke his hand. To show you how good Andre Survey was, 2 years later at the NCAA National Championships, he was named the swimmer of the meet. Well, with him no longer able to compete, plus with a bad disqualification because we exited the pool the wrong way, we amassed only 31 points. Well, that night, Cauli asked Sean Peters, "Now what, Chief?" And he says, "Cauli, it's going to be up to you." And the next day they turned it around, led by a dramatic 400 relay that was anchored by Cauli. When Cauli dived in the water, he was behind the leader by a second, 50 yards to go. He not only caught that representative from that other school, but beat him by a second. To give you some idea of what that's like, imagine the best runners in a race going down the track, and with 50 yards to go, somebody's in front of you by a second, and then you beat them by a second. And remember, in track, that'd be going through air. Cauli was going through water. Well, when he got out of the pool, all that enthusiasm and emotion that made Cauli a great swimmer was evident, and he raised his fist in triumph. We put that picture on our website, and it upset some of the parents of the other school. They're really going to be upset because Cauli picked it for his Hall of Fame picture on his plaque. But here's the contrast. That same institution we competed in a dual meet. And prior to the meet, Cauli, who at that time was a member of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, heard about the assistant coach's grandson who was suffering from cystic fibrosis. Cauli took it upon himself to raise money. Now here's the contrast in the two teams. When our relay team got out of the pool that day, a couple of members of that other opposing team flashed the middle finger at him. I wasn't exactly sure what that means because I'm not as street smart as some folks, but I heard from a reliable source that it wasn't meant to be complimentary. Well, Cauli, by contrast, went and raised money and presented the check prior to the meet. Now, I'm not sure how the members of the relay team of that opposing school felt about it, but I can tell you this. The assistant coach was struck by the magnanimous gratitude and gesture that Cauli exhibited. And I think that crystallizes the difference between other student athletes and our student athletes. See, some people use their fingers to put others down. We actually use our fingers to lift others up. Cauli Bedran was a 24-time All-American, a 17-time first-team All-American. Cauli, stand up, and I think your mother is here from Rio de Janeiro. She should stand up too. So.
It is my honor to present Mr. Cauli Bedran for induction into the Wayne State University Athletic Hall of Fame. Will you please come forward?
I'm used to be the last one, I was the very last swimmer on the very last relay, on the very last day at Nationals, all my 4 years. So for me to be the leadoff man right now, it's a little bit weird. I'd like to thank my mom, who flew all the way from Brazil to be here with me today. I want to thank my wife, Lauren, and my family that is here. I'd like to thank my guests that came from various parts of the U.S. and the world to be here today. Now, you invite a Brazilian to come to a party, you make sure it's going to bring the full house. 10 years ago, when I was deciding to come to the United States, my choices of schools were between Wayne State and Delta State in Mississippi. And when I was talking to my Brazilian coach about what school to pick, he was very adamant. He said, dude, you like city living way too much. You go down to Mississippi, you're going to be back here in 6 months top. Well, I took his advice to heart, and here I am today. That was a good choice. I need to thank Bruno Blanco. He is a Hall of Fame inductee of class 2013. You know, he was my recruiter, he was my roommate, and he was my teammate, both in Brazil and here at Wayne State. No, he picked me up at the airport, and the first time they walked into the Math I building, if you have ever been there, you show up, there's a picture of 2 people on the wall, and I had no idea who these people were. So I was like, Bruno, who are these people? And he's like, oh, those are the student athlete of the year. So I go, okay, what do I need to do to be there? He like, look at me like, yeah, like all you need to do is to be the best in the pool and the best in the classroom. Good luck with that. All right, well, by my senior year, I actually was that student athlete on the wall, so and my picture was there for a whole year, so that was very, very cool. But a few steps forward, and we were able to see the school record, the swimming record board, and yeah, that's when I saw Gary's 25-year-old record standing over there. And at that time, Bruno actually took me to the side and said, hey, look at that. That record has been standing there for 25 years. You got to get that down. I did. I did. That was, and you know, the weird part is that I didn't get to meet Gary until my senior year, and I was able to finally meet him, and it was an honor meeting him and having him here today. Today is the 20th year of his induction to the Hall of Fame, so can you guys give him another round of applause, please? Thank you. Now, during my time here at Wayne State, I was able to forge very, very great friendships. You know, being from another country, you don't really have the fortune of go home for your holidays, so you need some of your teammates to become your family, and the Davidsons were that for me. His parents came down for my senior year, and they are here today for me, so Mary, Don, thank you very much. Now, we spent holidays together. We stood on each other's wedding. And it doesn't matter if you're physically close or geographically apart, I still have some great friends. They still remain very, very close to me, despite the fact there are 6 years since we graduated over here. You know, I need to thank Sean for bringing me in and giving me the opportunity of a lifetime. You know, I'm sorry I'm choking here. This is very overwhelming. It was a pleasure to be your swimmer, and it is an honor to work with you as your assistant coach. I don't know if you guys know that, but this is the 6th straight year that Sean Peters is landing one of his former swimmer on the Hall of Fame here at Wayne State. And I did not know that this is the first ever class of first balloters, but Sean, you just landed 3 on the first ever class composed exclusively of first ballot Hall of Fame. Can you guys give him a round of applause, please? You know, back in 2008, I had the honor of being the leadoff man on the 200 medley relay, which was the first ever national title on the swimming history here at Wayne State. So leading off is an on and off experience for me. But the most impressive thing is that Wayne State has won at least one event at nationals every year since 2008. This is 8 years running right now. This is a very, very impressive run they have put together. Well done. And I also need to thank Rob. Rob, thank you. Thank you very much. I still remember a conversation that we had 8 years ago before my sophomore year at Nationals. You know, before 2008, national champion rings were only awarded for team titles. And during that conversation with Rob, I said, Rob, would you ever give an individual national champion ring? And he looked at me like, why? Do you plan on winning a race at Nationals? Well, would you give me a ring if I were to win? And he goes, well, you win a race and then you can talk about a national champion ring. So probably had a big, big hole in his budget from all the rings that swimming and diving has gotten since. You know, I am truly, truly humbled to be here speaking to you today. You heard the accolades of all other 5, including myself here, and for me to be here, it's very, very humbling. I cannot put into words how special this is for me. I am very, very proud that on an individual sport like swimming, I was able to be part of a team that finished top 3 at Nationals 3 out of my 4 years. Thank you for this great honor of joining a selective group of 231. President Wilson said 230, is actually 231. I checked with Jeffrey Weiss. But it's 231 out of a pool of over 8,000 student athletes that have represented Wayne State athletics since the creation of the department. It's not very easy to be here, and for me to be here is very, very rewarding. You know, Wayne State has been, and now forever will be my house. Thank you very much. You're always welcome in my house.